Last day somebody asked me, how do you read? And I went blank because I'd never thought about the very process of reading, even though I love reading. So I thought I'll share with you a few tips. And these are a few tips which I wrote it down for myself after somebody asked me the question, how do you read? That question really helped me to sit down and recollect on the very process of reading. And this is quite personal. I don't know if it applies to everybody, but it does work for me in this method. One thing which I always do when I pick up a book is to move to that particular page which would definitely give you the publisher's details. For example, in case of the book here, you turn the page and you move into that one page which gives you all the details about the publishing house. This is partly because of curiosity, and second reason is because I'm an amateur writer and would definitely like to know the publishers. One of those things which you always should keep in mind is to read consistently. You shouldn't skip reading even for a day. Don't read on one day and then skip on Tuesday and Wednesday and come back on Thursday. Read every day. It is always a good idea to keep a notepad just beside you when you read. Take notes. Write down those lines which really struck you and try to share it with people. Sometimes you might save a person's life. When you read consistently, your brain gets programmed into some kind of an idea that at this particular time, for these many minutes, I will be working on a particular idea. Now that is really good, and that will stimulate all your nerves and your senses, I think. One of those reasons why I read is to know a little more about what I know and to know a little about what I don't know. For instance, currently I'm engaged in reading two books, and one is Owl by Father Bobby Joe's Kapikan. As Oprah Winfrey said, I am a woman in process. So even though I know the shades and moods and temperaments of womanhood in general, I know that I have never had a complete guide to myself. So I try to look into those texts which would definitely give me a different kind of a perspective, maybe glimpses into the different shades of womanhood you can find all around. And this is Owl by Father Bobby Joes. I would say that this is a complete guide to womanhood. Nothing is, I would say. But of course, it does help me to get a different perspective on several shades and moods and temperaments which I myself have. At the same time, I try to read a little bit on what I don't know at all. For instance, this is Ikigai, a text which is all about the Japanese secret to happiness and long life. Now that doesn't mean that I want to live long, but it just means that I would like to know how to live long. And that is an area which I've not explored so far. Both these books came out in 2017, but this is the first time that I'm laying my hands on these two books. Still, I would definitely like to know more on longevity and a little bit more on womanhood. So when you read, try to read a little about what you don't know and a little more about what you already know. There is a common error which we all do. You kind of judge a book by the blurb. You read the back cover of the book and then you think, this is what the book is all about. Of course, that can help you in buying a book, but please don't jump into conclusions based on the blurb at the end of the book or on the preface of the book. It's just like, what happens in relationships too, because we often jump into conclusions. So take time to know a book. Take a little bit of extra time to know a stranger. It is just like, you are trying to become friends with a completely different, completely strange kind of a person who will only reveal himself or herself to you bit by bit, little by little, page by page. Read with an open mind, because I'm sure that you're going into an area where you will definitely have mental clashes with the ideas inside a book. Be prepared to be corrected, and that is how you should read. Read 2 or 3 books simultaneously. And after reading a couple of paragraphs or even a couple of pages from one book, sit thinking before you move to the next book. And after reading all the 3 books, try to find some kind of a connection between these 3 books, maybe from completely different areas. I'm sure that you will be surprised, because in the end you will sit thinking how the 3 different books which belong to 3 different disciplines are interconnected.